Fuck all that other shit. I'm not talking all that other shit. I don't want to do all these extra introductions because I want to get straight to it. I don't want to keep y'all too long, but I don't want to be too short. I need y'all feedback. I need y'all feedback. I need y'all feedback. I need y'all feedback. Info at mcrittendenenterprises.com. It's going to be in the description. I want y'all to I'm going to put send all inquiries, but I want y'all to send me feedback. How do y'all like the episodes? Long? Or do y'all like them short? Like, how do y'all like episodes? Y'all like them long and drawn out, or short and to the point? How y'all like them? I'm just going, because what I do is I freestyle, to be honest with you. I write down some stuff, but I don't try and put a specific time on how long I'm going to be giving y'all the game. So I want y'all to talk to me about it. I want y'all to talk to me. Tell me what you like. Tell me what you prefer. Because when I'm recording, I hide the little time meter because I don't even want to know how long it's been. I just want to give y'all all the information that I got for the week, and then we reconvene the following week. A couple admin things that I want to bring up to you guys. As you already know, I'm migrating everything over to the website. It's coming out great as far as the migration. I got to design the website, though, so that's taking a little bit of time. I'm taking my time with it, as I told y'all before. There's no rush because as long as the episodes get out, I'm perfectly fine with that. The only issue I'm getting is I wanted to start uploading, like, connecting photos to each episode. Just to put a little something better for the social media and whatnot, but that don't seem like that's a thing. For the current website, man, I'm gonna try and see what happens when I upload a picture with the post, but we'll see. We'll see how that goes. But for now, we're just gonna go with we're gonna get the episodes out. I'm gonna be pushing the YouTube as well more. I know a lot of you guys like to listen on different platforms, so it's gonna be on 4 major platforms: Google Play, Stitcher, Apple, Spotify. Those are the major podcasting platforms. Then, of course, you can go directly to the website and listen to it. And then, of course, it's going to be on YouTube. I know last week's episode is not up. Well, shit, by the time y'all hear this, it should be up. Because I'm going to do that shit immediately. So by the time y'all hear this, the last week's episode will be up on YouTube. It is already up on the platforms, but it's going to be on YouTube because I just, I'll be honest, by switching to the website directly, it is more work to do because before those episodes were automatically uploaded to YouTube. So everything was automatically done for me. All I had to do was just upload it to their site. But the issue is I don't want to get banned for anything I say off these people's platform. So like I know Apple won't do it, Spotify won't do it, YouTube would. Twitter would. Like it's these companies will kick you off their platforms for the most part. So I have to be aware of that, and I have to have a go-to any event that happens to me. Because anytime you start talking about black empowerment, the way I talk about it, the way the new black media talk about it, we start to get labeled as toxic, phobic, anti-Semitic, whatever. They start putting whatever label they can to put on us to get us out the paint. So I got to make sure I protect the message from that. So I have to also make sure I am doing whatever I can do to, not get myself banned. Other than that, we good. What else did I need to do admin-wise? I want to do some, some announcements, church announcements, whatever the case. The Patreon is up and it is live. If you would like to help contribute to the show in any way, shape, or form, a cup of coffee or whatever, you can go ahead and do that. My cup of coffee cost me about $2.50. So if you want to do that, patreon.com/mcrittendenenterprises. Make sure you are following us on whatever platform you are listening to. Make sure you are subscribed. Subscribe to the YouTube page. It's major. See, the YouTube page is important because um, it gives us the ability to do certain things with those algorithms and those analytics. Maybe I should start doing the live broadcast. Even though I don't use the webcam anymore, maybe I should. Maybe it's time I go back to the webcam, do the live broadcast on YouTube with the video, and then also take the audio and put it on all platforms. Like it's things I'm working out on which way to best do it, but I really want to push out to the YouTube or the Spotify, whatever you want to listen to. If you're an audio person, don't worry about YouTube. It's fine. If you want to listen on YouTube, that's perfectly fine too, because it's all audio with a picture. So, but there's also times where I think I want to start showing y'all stuff, and the only way to do that is to do the YouTube video broadcast. So it's I just want y'all to know what I'm thinking in my head, and along the way. So that's what I'm thinking. What else did I have to tell y'all about? Music. For those of you that don't know, yes, I do make music. If you want to find me on all streaming platforms, I would appreciate you doing that, especially if you listen on Spotify. The reason why I lean towards Spotify when I promote music is because Spotify gives me the special analytics that I need to help push forward with the music. So if you want to check out the music, HVO Marv, maybe I should start linking it up or something in the description, or I should start playing some of it on the show. When we get there, we'll get there. But in the meantime, HVO Marv on all streaming platforms. Check it out. You know, if you fuck with the music, let me know. If you don't, let me know, or whatever, however you want to do it. Also, what I want you to do, I want to give you guys some homework. I know I typically don't do this, but I want to give you guys some homework. I want you to tag 2 people that you think would be interested in listening to the show, subscribing, interacting. I want you to tag 2 people or send this to 2 people. You can text it to them, email it to them, however you want to do. Just get this episode in particular to 2 people that you think would listen to the show, subscribe to the show, and make sure they subscribe to the show. I'm going to start giving out random prizes and things of that nature, and I'm literally going to go through the subscription list, or people who are active. They're going to be the ones who qualify for the prizes. I like to give out movie tickets, stuff like that. So I'm going to be giving out some gifts, maybe like a month subscription to something, or whatever the case may be. Gives people access to something, or, stuff like that. So we'll figure, I'm going to come up with the gifts, and, y'all going to tell me what y'all like. And then, for sponsorships as well, that's important. Which I have to I'm going to be putting up a, survey for all podcasts anyway, of what type of things you guys like. So we can feel for sponsorship. It's about time at this point. Anyway, drinking a Snapple. Anyway, what else do we need? Any other church announcements? No more. All right. Let's get to it. Today's episode, we're going to be talking about partying and bullshitting. And then we're also going to be talking about the Oppression Olympics. Next week episode, I'm going to write it down right now, because I'm going to say it and then I'm going to end up forgetting. Next week episode, we're going to talk about the mother. I think I talked about the mother-daughter dynamic. I want to talk about the mother-son dynamic. And then we're going to move on to the fathers as well. I got the camera on for my young blood, my young son. He's asleep. He's bedtime, and Let me see. Ooh. All right. Here we go. So anyway, let's talk about. I'm sorry, guys. I got a crazy message. Whatever. So let's talk about a few things. I got some shit to talk about. So let's just get to it. Fuck it. Let's get to it. Let's first talk about the Oppression Olympics. It seems like everyone is in a race to be the most oppressed people, or to prove that somebody is not as oppressed as advertised. You already know this is seeped in anti-black racism. First and foremost, the first thing people try and do is either link their oppression or some type of bad thing that happened to them historically to what happened to black people historically. Or what they like to do is minimize what happened to black people historically, so they can say, "Hey, you guys weren't that oppressed." Like, you know what I mean? It's the equivalent of saying, "Hey, I know he was whooping your ass, but he ain't whoop your ass the way you know, whoop your ass, whoop your ass." Like, you know what I mean? They do that kind of shit. So it's just seems to be this race to find who's the most oppressed, who's less oppressed. Like, it just seems to be that everyone wants to make sure they can compare their plight to what happened to foundational black Americans here in America. If you ever notice, it's always someone trying to connect their plight to what happened to black people's plight. So that's how you know, because I don't like playing the oppression Olympics. You know what I mean? I'm not about to argue with somebody of who was more oppressed, us or them. Or I know who was the most oppressed people historically in America. When you start bringing up shit that happened outside of America, I don't give a fuck. That ain't got shit to do with me or my ancestor or my lineage. My lineage is here in America. So I have to deal with what's going on here in America. I have to get what's rightfully mine here in America. That shit y'all talking about overseas in fucking Ireland and Africa and all the other shit, that ain't got shit to do with me. So don't bring that shit up to me. I don't give a fuck. You know what I mean? That ain't got shit to do with me. Like, there was a big explosion in Lebanon. Hey, hope those people get well. Hope everything fares out for them. But that has nothing to do with what I had going on here in America. I have to deal with the black issue. That's all I can fit on my plate right now. I can't fit the sides. I can't fit everything else of what's going on in the rest of the world until I deal with what's going on here in America with black people. That's just as simple as I can put it. That's as nice as I can put it. That's as nice as I'm going to put it. Because at the end of the day, y'all not about to sit here and try and force me to feel bad about every single thing that happens around the world and in America. When it's time to talk about black issues, y'all tell me, well, it wasn't that bad, or these people also suffered too. How come they're not asking for this, this, and this? Because that's what people like to do. It's just this oppression Olympics. It's these people of color versus black people versus white people. You know what I mean? Versus Native Americans. Like, it's just always something. But the thing is, y'all always compare y'all shit to what black people went to. It's the modern day Jim Crow. It's modern day slavery. It's modern day civil rights. Those are all black specific issues. And if you had to compare your shit or connect your shit to our shit to say, hey, I need you to understand how bad this is for us, just think about it as if this was this. So we're the standard, we're the measuring stick of oppression. How the fuck do y'all think that y'all can compare to us when y'all sit here and talk about this other shit? If you say, hey, this is worse than slavery, they love saying that. This is worse than Jim Crow. This is worse than the civil rights. Well, if our shit is the measuring stick, we use the standard. That's not a good standard to be. Don't get me wrong. I ain't fucking tooting my horn and getting ready to throw a fucking parade because we're the standard of what the fuck is wrong with America. But if we're the standard, how can you think that you're even close to what we're dealing with or what we have dealt with and what we continue to deal with? It's disrespectful to my lineage. That's what it is. You're disrespecting my lineage because you want to be in the oppressed Olympics. Hey, listen, if you want to be in the oppressed Olympics, go ahead and get into the oppressed Olympics. I don't want to be in there. I don't want to be in the oppressed Olympics. I'm not interested in that. That's not fun. I don't know, maybe it's fun for you. Maybe it's something that you thought like, hey, that's cool. I actually like that. I want to be a part of that. I tell you this, I don't want to be a part of it, but I am. I was born into it. It's my lineage. So guess what I'm going to do? I'm going to hold my nuts, and I'm going to deal with it, and I'm going to prosper through. I'm not going to suffer through. I'm going to prosper through. That's the difference between me and y'all. See, y'all like to motherfucking crawl up into a fetal position and start acting like a little bitch. Not Marv. I won't do it. That's why I'm gaming y'all up and telling y'all how we gonna move forward. Because I need more people like me in this world so we can move the way I want to move. Especially, I need more people like me in my city. I can't do shit I want to do in my city. Because you definitely can't do it as one person. But the shit that I want to do requires a few people to get down with me. And they just ain't on that kind of time, and I understand it. So I'm just like, look, I'm going to do what I can from here, but I'm going to get my work done outside the city and on major scales in that aspect, help push movements that can hopefully seep into the city and things of that nature. Maybe get a chapter started. I don't know. Maybe I'm just in too small of a city to get busy how I want to get busy, but we're going to see. Anyway, so it's this oppression Olympics where everyone's racing and say, I'm the most oppressed. Oh, I'm the most oppressed. But at the end of the day, we all are victims in the system of white supremacy. So why do you think you need to negate my victimhood to uplift yours? I don't even like speaking like this. I hate speaking like this, but I have to get this shit out real quick because I want to get to a greater point. It's a greater point I want to get to, but I have to lay this foundation. So why do you think that you need to negate what happened to us or belittle what happened to us or try and minimize what happened to us just to boast your shit up? Because it now becomes disrespectful to my lineage when you do that. So if you're going to disrespect my lineage, you lose me there. You lose me. You ain't about to sit here and disrespect my lineage. So that's how shit gets down. Anyway, so I say that to move into this point. There seems to be this people of color versus black versus immigrant versus white people. The immigrants and the people of color are starting to try and make it seem like black people are acting like white supremacists. Because we don't subscribe to a lot of fuck shit that the Progressive Party or Democrat Party, whatever they want to call themselves these days, subscribes to. These people, they decided they want to subscribe to just deviant behavior. They like to throw toxic words out there. They just throw phobia on the back of everything. Like you must, like as a black man, a straight black man waking up, I'm death phobic. Like these motherfuckers just say all types of crazy shit. Oh, what the fuck is this? Oh, these niggas is wild. So what's happening is they're trying to get the people of color and the immigrants to get on one side, plus the progressives and democratic white people. They all combine together, and they're going to use the people of color / immigrants to replace the black vote because black people have officially left the party, the Democratic Party. Oh, shit. Young black people, not them old civil rights leader motherfuckers. Young black people have officially left the Democratic Party. They know it. They're pissed off about it. They're about to go ahead and throw Joe Biden old ass out there and say we gave it the old try. And then they're going to pivot into a new way of Democratic Party. And it's going to focus on those moderate white people, those people of color, and those immigrants. They're going to be offering immigrant tickets over here like it's it's going to be like a like the Popeyes chicken. That's how they're gonna be giving out the immigration. They ain't gonna be able to process the paperwork fast enough to get us to make sure they undermine black people. Don't be surprised if you start seeing random explosions, random attacks, random wars, random just all types of random things happening that's going to result to America saying we need to reach our hands out and help these people. The refugees need to come here to America. We should be the ones helping these people. That's what America will do. So they can undermine the black votes. So don't be surprised. Do not be surprised if you see a mass switch of the traditional black family start to side with the Republicans. You see, because the Republicans have done nothing to actually help us. Same thing as the Democrats. The thing is, the Democrats were getting the black vote for nothing. So now the Republicans don't have to do much to get the black vote. All they got to do is make sure they don't continue to push us out the way like the Democrats are doing and give a little more. So, for example, if the Republicans are anti-immigration, if the Republicans are pro-Americans first or put Americans first, truly do that, all Americans, regardless of race and gender and all that shit, that don't be surprised if you see more of the middle-class black people or the affluent black people who say, hey, look, the Republicans, y'all did produce Trump, which I know they're going to denounce him the moment he gets out of office. They're going to shit on him, something crazy. They're going to sound like the damn Democrats when he get out of office. We know y'all produced Trump, but going forward, y'all guys have been America first. You this, and this. We're going to go ahead and rock with you. Don't be surprised if a lot of black people do that. Because at the end of the day, when you sit here and you're willing to jeopardize an entire voting block for the sake of whatever perceived power you guys think you have or whatever the case may be prepared to face the consequences. Y'all know damn well black people don't back down. Y'all know how we get down when our backs are against the wall. So if the Democratic Party, as we know it, has to collapse and this new progressive party is going to be erected, I'm pretty sure it's going to be more AOCs, very extreme policies, very, very socialist policies. We're going to call that the Bernie tree. These Bernies that's going to come out and be extremely socialist, saying, hey, we got to eat the wealthy, and these same people who go to Washington and get wealthy, kind of strange, but those people are going to come out. Those people off the Bernie tree are going to come out, and it's going to cause major pushback. Major pushback. And that's what's going to happen. You heard it here first. Watch. I'm going to make sure I pull this clip up too when it happens. So what's happening is now you're seeing a little bit of I don't want to call it it's nothing like the Civil War with the Confederates and whatnot, which we're going to talk about that later. But you're seeing like a social civil war between these four parties where you'll see like black people have their set of views, and then these other groups to start connecting every view they can to white supremacists and then try and put that term on black people. So then they can discredit black people and get them, have them eat each other up because you got different. They like to use this all as a monolith, but we're not. So you'll have immigrant black people talking crazy about black Americans, and then black Americans talking crazy about immigrants, and then you got the LGBT community talking about both black Americans and immigrants and their their homophobia, whatever phobias they decide they want to come up with today. They're going to start saying that too. So you'll see you'll see everyone fighting amongst each other while these Democratic progressives get themselves in order. So it's going to start with this election. They're going to hold this pandemic off until the election. Once the election is over, then you're going to start to see a new wave of things coming in. You're going to see a new wave of candidates, a new wave of policies, a new wave of politicians coming in, especially in the midterm. They're going to come in. Then after they come in, you're going to start seeing these weird, wild-ass policies. And because we're getting ahead of this, you're going to see... Hold on. Then once you see it coming in, that's when you'll see the pushback. Like, whoa, wait a minute. On a local level, because this all is going to start locally and then it's going to go follow its way up. And when you see that pushback happen, you know it's that's when it's time to go. But anyway, so you got these groups fighting against each other while they, I'm not about to be this elitist and all this whatever. While the white supremacists just sitting here just waiting on it to all play itself out, waiting on themselves, um, waiting on themselves to get lined up. Because I'm telling you, the Republicans gonna line themselves up to be. All they gotta do is be like, I just can't be bad as Trump, and we're gonna be looked at as great. These motherfuckers change their mind on how they look at Bush. So I know I got a fighting chance. You see what I'm saying? So you'll see that happening. It's gonna be all out war, all out anger, all out craziness. So it's gonna happen, and when it does, what's this shit? Oh, it's gonna happen, and then next thing you know, it's gonna be crazy. So be prepared for that. Be prepared for that. I'm sorry, y'all. I keep getting distracted because I'm trying to read these notes. People keep hitting me up. So now what's happening is you'll start to see that these white supremacists are so upset about these little bum ass statues that they got built. These white supremacist monuments, Robert E. Lee's and things of that nature. And UB's taking down these pro slave names off their buildings and stuff like that. White supremacists like, we can't erase history. We can't erase history. So they're countering that. In a website called Arkansas Democrat Gazette, the senator Tom Cotton, very unique name, his curriculum will emphasize American slavery instead of American independence has been targeted by U.S. Senator Tom Cotton. The Little Rock Republican introduced legislation Thursday that would prevent the use of federal tax dollars to spend the historical reinterpretation in the nation's classroom. While labeling 1776 as the nation's official birthday, the 1619 Project seeks to reframe American history by considering what would have mean to be regarded as 1619 as our nation's birth year. Time to coincide with the 400th year of anniversary of arrival of American slaves in the Virginia colony, the 1619 Project was launched last year by the Times, arguing that it is finally time to tell our story truthfully. The project aims to reframe the country's history by placing the consequences of slavery and contribution of Black Americans at the very center of our national narrative. The project mastermind, Nicole Hannah-Jones, was awarded this year's Pulitzer Prize for commentary. A curriculum based on the project, which includes essay, poems, photographs, and short fictions by a variety of contributors, was also created. The results of the partnership between the Times and the nonprofit Pulitzer Center, the curriculum is intended for use of primary and secondary schools nationwide. Cotton's proposed law, if the Saving American History Act of 2020 becomes law, however, districts using the 1619 Project curriculum could face financial consequences. Cotton's legislation labeled the project a distortion of American history. The 1619 Project is a left-wing propaganda. It's revisionist history at its worst. So what he's saying is, because somebody's telling the truth about what really happened with America, he don't like that. So he wants to defund, because that's going to be coming left and right. He wants to defund schools that go ahead and continue to tell the truth in regards to tell the truth in regards to what happened with American slavery. So essentially what he's saying is, hey, y'all up here talking about what happened in American slavery. That doesn't make me comfortable. We know what happened. It's a bloody history. Our country didn't start till then, so I don't want to talk about what happened prior to our country officially becoming a country back in 1776. The thing is, you motherfuckers is already over here. 1619, American slaves African slaves were brought over, and then people that was already indigenous was put in shackles. Use those sleazeballs. So at the end of the day, you can be mad about all that you want. It's not revisionist history. Your argument is, what he's trying to argue for those that don't understand is he's saying that America didn't start till 1776. So anything that happened before 1776 shouldn't be in American history. That's what he's saying. In theory, he's right. The country America, United States of America, was not established until 1776. They were not free from Britain's control. So what he's saying is that all should be a part of Britain's history, world history. The problem is, show me any other history that doesn't talk about the full timeline of the soil. You see what I'm saying? So once you got here, once our ancestors got here, the start of history starts there. Things change along the way. So if that's the case, if you want to go off that logic, then you shouldn't be talking about anything. When you say, if you say 1776 was the original establishment of the country and the 13 original colonies, that means you need to speak on the 13 original colonies more often in these in your history lessons. But the problem is you don't. When you speak of the origination of the United States of America, you act like all 50 states started. All 50 states celebrate, right? All 50 states celebrate the 4th of July. All 50 states celebrate that. So if all 50 states celebrate that, they shouldn't, because it was only 13 original colonies. Only the 13 original colonies should be the ones celebrating, based on his logic. So in principle, you can technically say, yeah, he's right, because America didn't start till 1776, because that's when they got their freedom. The problem is this land mass that we're on right now was here. And at 1619, and those things that led up to 1776, because the African slaves got here, we was able to build this country to the point where you could become free of Britain's rule. See, that's the thing. Y'all don't like to talk about that. Y'all like to act like, oh, 1619 was here, 1619, almost about 150 some odd years later, we went ahead and got our freedom from Britain. How did you get your freedom from Britain? How? Where did you get the money from? Where did you get the resources, the land development? Where'd that come from? It came from them goddamn slaves and indigenous people building this shit the fuck up. And some black people were already over here, so don't let them tell you it was only Native Americans. That's who built this shit up. So because those things led to the freedom of 1776, you talk about those things that happened in 1619. Because if those things that didn't happen started in 1619 and probably before or whatever, if those things didn't happen, you wouldn't have had the manpower, resources, anything to become independent of yourself. So therefore, you don't get to erase that part of history just because you want to bitch about the ugliness of it. Slaves weren't free in 1776. You get what I'm saying? So, what you trying to hide? You want to hide 150 some years of You want to hide 150 some years of history because we weren't established as a country yet? So that's why I always wonder, what do these motherfuckers be talking about? So from 1776 to another almost 100 years, like 1863-ish is when we supposed to be free. And then 1864 is when Texas found out they was free. So if that was the case, you want to try and slide out 150 years and then you don't want to talk about the 100 plus years more? So no, it don't work that way. Don't work that way. Nice try, though. Nice try. Because if people just try and stick to just the cold, hard facts, you might have a leg to stand on. But the problem is, it don't work that way. Things are subjective. Things are a little bit more flexible than that. But they're trying to erase history. So what I'm saying is, these motherfuckers is mad about them bitch-ass statues. I need y'all to understand, why do the losing team get a trophy? This isn't the Olympics. You don't get a silver medal. This was traitors. They tried to succeed from the Union. They keep saying, oh, it's an overbearing government. The law is the law. Remember? Follow the law. The law is the law. The law said abolish slavery, motherfuckers. Give them up. See, it's funny when you say, hey, the law is unfair and unjust. As long as it's something, as long as the victim is black people, say, hey, mate, just follow the law, man. Follow the law, man. I understand, but you got to follow the law. But when the law is going against white supremacy. It's like, oh, this government is so tyrannical. This government is tyranny. Oh, woe is me. It's tyranny. Where are my guns? Y'all start that fuck shit. But the law is the law. So statues need to come down, names need to get off buildings because you fuck faces did that bullshit when it was time and it was acceptable. But we're telling y'all that was never acceptable and it is time to correct what's been wrong. It's been wrong. It was never acceptable. It's just niggas back then didn't have the power to do nothing about it. So here we are today, fixing up a mess that should have never been created. You want those trophies and those fucking statues? Go see them in the museum and pay for that shit, you fuckface. Fuck them statues. They can burn in hell. Fuck all them racist bigots. They can all burn in hell. And fuck them traitors to America. They can all burn in hell. Fuck them all. So, with that being said, hold on. Let me add them to this. I'm trying to do something, yeah, my fault. People, I don't understand why they won't leave me alone, man. Leave me alone. Anyway, so they're crying about it, and you know, you gotta just pretty much tell them they gotta hold them nuts and hold them tight, hold them real tight, because them nuts is gonna hurt, and they gonna hurt real good. Anyway, I want to also talk about something else here. You see, it's two things I'm actually talking about. I noticed that there's been a crazy outcry of just people bitching and moaning about this $600. They're mad because people were getting the extra $600 a week on unemployment because they had to go to work. The only statement I made about that was people who were on the eviction list. So 9 times out of 10, if you were on unemployment plus you got an extra $600, you were making more money than you were when you were working. So my thought process is, if you're making more money by not working, why are you not paying your rent? Somebody said to me, you don't know what other bills they got. Did you not just hear what I said? When they were working, they weren't making this much money and they were paying their bills. Let's assume, because if they were in financial hardship, then they were already going to get kicked out regardless. Then my statement don't apply to them. My statement applied to people who were paying their bills with their paycheck, was put out of work, put on unemployment, made more money, and decided to not pay their rent because they didn't have to based on a pandemic emergency situation. And my thought process was, how fucking stupid could you be? Under no circumstances where if you were paying your rent while working and everything was all right, I don't want to say great, but everything was okay while you were working, you were staying above water, everything was cool while you were working, you are no longer working, but you're making more money and you opt to not pay your rent anymore. So what? You can have even more money in your pocket to not do shit with it? Now you're out on your ass? Point is, people need to truly realize that there are corporations, big businesses that are getting millions and millions and millions of dollars in its pandemic. Amazon is making billions of dollars in its pandemic. Why in the flying fuck are you mad about somebody getting $600 because you're not? Then here's the laughable shit I see. I see motherfuckers that work at random places. They work at like a car wash or some shit. And they're like, well, I'm essential. I'm an essential employee. I should be getting that money too. Shut the fuck up. No, you not. Your employer is just a piece of shit. You're not fucking essential. Essential is people who work in medical field and people who work in the grocery field, in the grocery stores. If you work at Walmart and you work in the electronic department, you're not essential. If you're an overnight stocker, you're not essential. I'm sorry. Cashiers, maybe. But even then, don't try and put yourselves on the same level as a fucking nurse and a doctor. Because that's what some people were talking like. They were acting like they were a part of nurses and doctors' plight. Remember I talked about the oppression Olympics? This is what they were doing. Prime example. Hey, I know nurses and doctors got to actually deal hands-on, CNAs and stuff like that, got to deal hands-on with people that are potentially with COVID. But I work in the electronic department, or I work in lawn and garden at Walmart. So I should be able to get the same kind of pay they get. That's the way they were. I know I'm not exaggerating. I'm not exaggerating at all. I saw this shit. Throughout the entire pandemic, I saw this shit. And I'm just like, nah, you're not dead ass. You can't be dead ass. No, you're not dead ass. But they were. Because now they're the same ones celebrating that the people potentially lost a $600 extension or $600 boost from unemployment. And I'm just like, that's a hater. That's some hating shit right there. That's what that is. But what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna hold off on the party and bullshit. I'm gonna save that for next week's episode because I think it'll tie in better. I think it'll tie in better with next week's episode if I do that shit like that. Anyway, appreciate y'all tuning in this week. I hope that y'all tune in next week. I really look forward to, doing this show a lot. I enjoy giving out this information. I also want to add another element to this show. I feel like I do extremely serious topics a lot of times, but I want to add in some different topics as well. I'm mixing some other stuff. I'll let y'all know about that later on. Make sure you follow me on all social media platforms. Unorthodox Logic with Marv, HVO Marv on all social media platforms. So make sure you go ahead and hit me up on all those. And we'll be back next week, bitches!